Alright, hello and welcome to another video, and it's a game hunting video this time. I'm going to be jumping in the car with my wife and my dog Rosie and driving about an hour and a half from Moncton to my hometown, Fredericton, New Brunswick. I'm going to Fredericton mainly to visit family, but I also like to reserve a little time for video game hunting. And so, in this video, we're going to check out the city. I've lined up a few Facebook Marketplace pickups, and I plan on visiting all of the thrift and pawn shops in the area while I'm there. Don't forget to stick around at the end of the video as I'll take you through everything that I picked up on this trip. Alright, so just to give any viewers who maybe haven't had the chance to visit Atlantic Canada and the Maritime Provinces, here's a little scale for you. We're just above Maine in the United States, and man, you know, it's a beautiful place to visit, especially if you're the outdoorsy type. We've got loads of beautiful lakes, rivers, and more green space than you'll know what to do with. And Rosie absolutely loves getting outside here too. Alright, so stop number one is absolutely to see family first, and on this trip I have both of my brothers in from out of town, so it was awesome to get a chance to spend some time with family. It was also important to get spoiled a little with some coffee and some breakfast to fuel up for some video game hunting. Let's get into it. Alright, right off the bat, we've got a Facebook Marketplace pickup that I prepaid. I sent this guy an e-transfer for $25 and grabbed us some really great Wii and Wii U titles. I don't always e-transfer people to hold things for me, but this guy seemed pretty trustworthy and he left the games right out on his front step. So when I got into town, he was one of the first people I contacted. Some really great titles here, some that I already have that I'll probably just look to resell, and a couple really great additions like that Kirby game you're seeing that are going to be right in the collection. Well, whether it works or not is yet to be seen, and I normally don't take a gamble on electronics at all for this kind of money, but I still don't have a PS4. Well, I didn't have a PS4 until now. We'll see. I took a little bit of a risk. This console looks very clean on the back. It has a little bit of kind of dust on the front, which is, you know, so do my consoles at home. It smells a little like cigarette smoke, but not bad, like surprisingly not bad. Let me show you where I bought this. This motel for, well, paid $110. The listing was asking $130, and I wanted to know if he'd take a little less. I haven't been able to find a PlayStation for, gosh, anything less than $200, PlayStation 4, so happy to get it. We'll get it home and see if it works. I have some controllers and games for it, so we'll find out, but motel pickup. Here's another quick Facebook Marketplace pickup, another classic case of someone who had games listed that were no longer available, and I quickly asked that classic question of, do you have anything else for sale that's not listed? To which they replied with a long list of DS and 3DS titles that they only wanted $10 a piece for. Absolutely great score for these ones. Well, I'm certainly not going to let a little bit of rain spoil my thrift and pawn shop adventures, so in I go to Mission Thrift Store. Generally, these stores don't have a lot by way of video games in them, but it's always worth digging. At least that's how it goes at thrift stores. I do happen to find this pretty cool Bruce Lee martial arts DVD collection set. Absolutely interested in that for $8. And you'll see me here digging through some of these kids' toy bins. Believe it or not, I've found things like Wiimotes and Nintendo accessories before, so it's always worth digging. This old school Calvin and Hobbes comic book catches my eye, and for $3, it's absolutely leaving with me. Next, I'm going to hit up the Salvation Army thrift store, and generally I don't do too bad at these locations. They tend to have quite a bit in the way of video games, and I stroll over to the jewel case to find a somewhat overpriced Wii. I think I'm going to pass on that one, and I do always dig through the book section in search of game manuals. Unfortunately, there weren't any this time around. The jewel case has not too much exciting in it, but one PS2 game that I don't see very often catches my eye, and I do end up leaving with a copy of SRS on the PS2 for $3.99. Man, do those last two stops ever sum up exactly what it's like thrifting on a regular basis. If you're someone who goes to thrift stores often, you probably already know, but it is an absolute grind if you're looking for video games or game manuals, strategy guides, that sort of thing.
it's a grind. You really do have to go out every day and you have to dig, and oftentimes you're gonna come up with not too much.
Quick stop into Odell Park Disc Golf Course with my brothers for a round of disc golf. I've been playing competitively for about 7 years now, and every time my brothers are in town, I like to try to sneak out for a round of disc golf with those guys. If you've got a chance to play disc golf at a course near you, or you can travel to one, it's absolutely worth your time. It plays just like regular golf, except you're throwing frisbees at baskets, and it's an absolute blast to play. Check out a disc golf course near you. It is well worth your time. All right, so this next stop on my list is Evergreen Traders, which is a pawn shop in Fredericton. And in typical pawn shop fashion, the prices are pretty much what you'd expect to see as far as eBay prices are concerned. I didn't spend a lot of time on my phone comparing to see if there were any good deals, stuff that was underpriced. What I really spend my time doing in these types of shops is filling out my wish list purchases, so things that are really on my want to buy list, or what I was doing today, which is buying stuff for collections that I am trying to get complete collections for. Right now, for me, that's the Wii U and the N64. So they actually had a deal on, which was buy 3 games, get 1 free, as long as that last one obviously is kind of lesser priced. So I picked up 3 N64 titles that I didn't have in my collection. One of them boxed that you see me grabbing here, and they also tossed in a Wii U game for me. I didn't do too bad. The prices were pretty good. That boxed game was on sale, and so I did all right, and I'm happy with my purchases. Great little shop. My last stop of the game hunting journey was to Valley Village to dig around for some more video games before I leave town, and the usual spots like the game rack and the jewel case weren't paying off, but all of a sudden things started to really click, and the electronics rack came through big with a Wii wheel, some cables, and I really started to hit it big in the book section, where I scored huge on some strategy guides. I love digging through the books for these, and did really well with a big stack leaving Valley Village. One more stop with family to have great meal together and spend a little bit of time. We had some awesome pizza and managed to get a little bit of family time in before heading back to Moncton. We feel pretty lucky that I've got family so close by that I can stop in, and when we can get everyone together, it's really nice to spend a little bit of time. And with that, we're pretty much saying goodbye to Fredericton and its views and its green space and all the things that we like to see and visit while we're there, to head back, hit the road, and jump in the car back towards Moncton to get back to the game room and see what we picked up. Okay, let's get straight into these video game pickups, and right off the bat, I grabbed up this Wii wheel. I think it was about $4. Little pickups like this pretty much drive my game room. These flip pretty easily for $10, so there's an easy little $7 profit there, and that goes right into the game fund all day. I will pick those sorts of things up, as well as these cables. I don't overlook these ever, because so often I'll find Game Boys at yard sales that don't have the chargers, and so cheap chargers like this are an easy way to make a Game Boy complete and easy to flip on local resale and add a little more fun into the game collection. Next, we got some of the Wii titles that I had picked up on this trip. You saw me grabbing the Mario Kart for the Wii and Super Mario Strikers Charged. Those games are already in the collection, so they'll be flipped. What you didn't see me pick up was this copy of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Actually, my mother found that at a thrift store, sent me a photo. I think I spent $7 on it, and an easy flip all day, so these will all go towards resale to fund the game collection. All right, and this DS lot is one that I picked up. You saw me pick up most of these except for Harvest Moon DS Cute and Art Academy. Those two I'll put the listing up for here. They had $15 a game, and I offered, I think, 20. They came back with 25, so not too bad. $25 for Art Academy and Harvest Moon DS Cute, when I think Harvest Moon DS Cute alone goes for probably around $70. So great deal. I think I did really well on these. total on the whole lot, I spent $75. So did really well for some awesome titles on these ones. Next are these Wii U titles, and like I said, I'm going for a complete Wii U collection. I am probably at, I think, 99 or 100 games out of 157 right now, and the only one I actually needed out of this lot from my Facebook Marketplace pickup was the Kirby and the Rainbow Curse title, and the Disney Infinity, the first game that I got at the pawn shop you saw me picking up, is actually another title I also need, so these will very likely put me over the 100 Wii U game mark. I have been having so much fun grabbing up strategy guides, and I recently put together a brand new set of shelves in my game room to house all of my Nintendo Power magazines and strategy guides. So to add these for fairly cheap to the game collection was really nice, and man, that Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass extra large strategy guide is absolutely gorgeous, and it's cool that they printed such a big and beautiful game manual for a smaller DS title. Really need to see that. Then I grabbed up PlayStation 4, which, man, I've been looking for such a long time. Was super happy to add a PS4 to my collection, and it works. That was the best news ever, to get home, get a controller plugged in, and see that it runs. Really happy to have that in the collection, as I already have about 7 or 8 games for the PS4 in the collection and no way to play them, but now I do. As well as that copy of SRS Racing on the PS2, which is cool to have any find. Sometimes you go to a thrift store and you just walk in and think, as long as I leave with something, I'll be happy, and so for $4, a game that I don't see very often, why not? And probably last but not least, the stuff that I'm most excited always to add to the collection, because I'm so nostalgic for the N64, is this copy of Shadowgate Trials of the Four Towers on the N64. That one's not complete, it's missing the manual, but the cartridge is in pretty decent shape. As well as Body Harvest and NBA Showtime, NBA on NBC, all for the N64. I'm also going for a complete collection on the N64. I'm just mainly collecting loose, but if I do find complete copies of games, I'm always happy to add boxed games to the collection. I'm at about 185, close to 190 games on the N64, so really happy to add these and add some more on my quest towards completing a complete collection on the N64. And that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for tuning in and checking out this video game hunting journey, this trip to pick up games, and I'm glad that if you stuck around till the end that you tuned in to watch it, and I'll catch you on the next one.